always a fun question to ask, but who is someone that has hit you the hardest? Like whether that was in training or in a fight where you're just like, whoa, got rocked.
I don't know. Probably Terrance McKinney.
Oh, okay. Yeah, dude, for sure.
Mike. There's
Yeah.
one time, Mike shook me off and I kicked him in the stomach and it kind of dropped him a little bit.
Okay.
Right after, stands up, takes me to the ground, and just whoops my ass. I remember thinking, I was like, fuck. I guess this is payback.
Ashton, you're an undefeated amateur MMA fighter based out there in Sik-Jitsu Fighting Systems in Spokane, Washington, man. Thank you so much for your time, man. I appreciate it.
Thank you, man.
I'd love to go back with my guests. Like, where did you grow up? What was childhood like for you?
I grew up in Spokane, just kind of a normal childhood, playing baseball, playing football. I got an older brother, so nice and rough house all the time, scrapping all the time. But yeah, I love Spokane. I'm actually in LA right now. We're visiting Kai, my girlfriend, so we're just chilling out here.
Oh, nice. Right on, man. Right on. Yeah, I noticed you're a multi-sport athlete, you know, looking at through Instagram there. What was the decision that made you go towards MMA?
My football buddies.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I went and watched one of my football buddies' first fights, and I was like, "Oh hell yeah, I need to do this."
Yeah.
Yeah,
oh, that's awesome.
Never stopped from there. It's funny because I went in the day after like his fight, and it was his last day because he was moving to college. So it was my first day and his last day. And just kind of got out of my comfort zone in a random room, started fighting.
Come on, man. Dude, that's awesome. If Tapology is correct, you're 2-0. You have 2 finishes, right?
Yep, 2-0.
Come on, man. And I mean, let's be real. Sik-Jitsu has a massive amount of warriors out there at the top of the game. Rick Little obviously knows a thing or two about building champions. I mean, you're training with guys like Brady Heistand and Mike Chiesa, Julianna Pena. I think I saw Misha Tate in some photos there.
Oh, yeah.
How much confidence does that give you coming from that gym? And then what's something that somebody at the gym told you that's kind of really stuck with you?
Well, it gives me confidence because we're the best in the world. Like I have confidence in that, best, not only best in the country, best in, the region. We're the best in the world. I fight and train with people that would kick most people's ass in the UFC. And, Mike's a big guy. Brady's a big, fast guy. And they're all, we all build each other up. You know what I mean? So
yeah, man.
Rick told me like I was one of the best guys that he's ever seen out of the gym, but I don't say that too much just because you stay humble, you got to build up a name for yourself before you just start talking.
Yeah. Now, being in there with all these warriors, always a fun question to ask, but who is someone that has hit you the hardest? Like whether that was in training or in a fight where you're just like, whoa, got rocked.
I don't know. Probably Terrance McKinney.
Oh, yeah, dude, for sure.
Mike. There's one time, Mike shook me off and I kicked him in the stomach and it kind of dropped him a little bit.
Okay.
Right after, stands up, takes me to the ground, and just whoops my ass. I remember thinking, I was like, fuck. I guess this is payback.
Right. Yeah. So funny. With fighting being like even more of a mental game than it is a physical game a lot of times, what do you do to improve on that mental game? And then how do you feel backstage, man? You ever get nervous or scared before you walk out to the cage?
Well, I've only had 2 fights. So my last fight, I mean, before we got out there, me and my opponent were flapping gums back and forth.
Okay.
It's kind of nice to get some practice doing that because I know I'm going to be in that environment a lot in the future.
Yeah.
So I'll talk some smack with you, but mostly I'm just normal like I am right now until about 30 minutes before the fight. Then I just zone in, go in my little warrior mentality mode or whatever I got to do and just get after it. But it doesn't matter to me, people talking or not, it's the same game either way. We're about to go in there and fight. So
yeah,
I'm ready for that. Exactly that.
I mean, it sounds like the goal is to go pro. What's the plan on what's the timeline on that?
My next fight will be my pro debut. It's supposed to be October 29th, as long as everything's good there.
Right on.
I'll probably have 4 or 5 pro fights within the next year. And then early 23, I'll probably be UFC or Bellator or some big name.
Come on. I love that, dude. It's so good to have that lined up. And I mean, having 2 amateur fights and going pro, that's pretty sick. So if you're going to fight in October, is that on Rick's card there, Conquest of the Cage?
Yeah, it'll be on that card.
Right on, man. Very cool. Dude, I was going to ask when can us fans see you back in the cage? So that's good, man. When you told your family that you were going to fight, what was their reaction? Like, did they get, it's no big deal, we already knew you were going to do that, or kind of were they shocked?
It's kind of, it's mixed reactions. My mom,
Okay.
she knew, she was down. My uncle, so because we're just a scrappy, like me, like especially my sub family where it's like my mom, my brother, and me. We're just scrappy in general. So she's super game with it. She loves going to the fights. But of course, my grandma's worried, and like my boss, old guys, like it's bad for your brain, blah blah blah. But fuck all that,
Right?
you
That's awesome, man.
it's better than I used to play football where you run full speed 100 yards into another person running full speed. So
Yeah.
be worried about it.
Yeah. I've had Ken Shamrock on here a couple of times, and he talks about like, his big thing now is bare knuckle boxing. Would you ever consider doing that? Is that something you'd look at, or what's your thoughts on bare knuckle boxing?
I think it's a cool, like upcoming, like sport and event, but I like to kick.
Yeah.
If it's like, if I had to somewhere on the street, maybe, but
yeah.
other than that, that's bare knuckle boxing. You see the damage Paige Van Zandt had to her hands after her fight. That shit was crazy. Whole swollen up, 10 years worth of damage in one fight.
Right. Oh man, it's crazy. I would never want to do that for sure. I like being on the side of the cage. So I thank you for what you do, man.
Yeah, no problem. Well, those guys, like they're all the like people that just don't care anymore. They're like, all right, end a career. Let's make some money. Let's do whatever we got to do and get some people on our name.
Yeah. Yeah. That's awesome. I mean, you're starting to see all these guys that are leaving MMA or gals that are leaving MMA and going over to the bare knuckle boxing because the payout is huge compared to what they were making, Absolutely insane. Hey, I wanted to transition to some fun questions here. I've got these things called pod decks, essentially just random questions. We'll pull one out here and see how it goes here. This one says, what's something that people think makes them look cool, but actually makes them look ridiculous?
Probably, I don't know. At the last fight, I saw someone like he was about to fight, fully decked out in like UFC gear.
Okay.
Like, the shiny new like Venom gear. It was sick. It was cool. Like, UFC, you gotta earn those.
Right.
You gotta earn.
That's awesome.
I don't know. Maybe, yeah, I'd probably say that.
Yeah, that's pretty good, dude. I love that. You have like the guys who wear the tap out shirts, and then you got like American Fighter, right? Like, and then some other shirts that are like Affliction shirts, right? Those three shirts, when I see them in the car, I'm like, I don't know if those guys are actually up to date with what's going on.
They're either old fans that like were down from like day one.
Yeah.
Or, it's kind of a mix between. I got, we have Sam, Sam Sicilia that trains with us too. So
right.
They will bring in like a bunch of gear. Like they'll bring in tap out gear, like Bellator gear, and just here you guys go.
Oh,
so
nice.
I got tap out stuff too.
Sweet. And now I noticed on Instagram you shoot a lot of guns. What's a favorite gun to shoot?
Probably my AK-47. That's my favorite. Yeah, I love guns. Nice. I just got a new hunting rifle, 270 Winchester. So
okay,
tighten that in. Kind of getting into that little environment because I want to start hunting.
Yeah, right on.
Get some meat in the household.
Yeah, for sure. Well, when you're not training, you're not working, man. Like, what do you do for fun?
I just hang out. Really, I like to go outside and go for hikes when I can. I actually injured my legs, so I can't do much hiking right now. But
okay,
I like to go out and just enjoy the wilderness. Really.
Right on. Right on. Last question for you. I'm a big music guy, so I love to ask the question, like, what's the favorite type of music for you? Or do you have a favorite band that you like to listen to?
I have if you looked at my playlist, you'd be so confused. Like, it literally goes from like dubstep to trap hip hop to classic rock to, I mean, everything. I like to play some Jimi Hendrix and
okay.
Yeah.
I think I saw a picture of you. Like, were you Easy E for Halloween or something one year?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
When I was young, guys, I used to have like the hair that would come out the back and I'd tuck it in.
Okay.
Like, Easy E.
Yeah, dude. That's awesome, man. So good, dude. Dude, I wanted to give you an opportunity to give a shout out to coaches, teammates, sponsors, anything like that, man. The camera's all yours.
Yeah, CBD Spokane actually sponsored me. That was one of my first sponsors, so I'll give them a shout out. Thanks for the good products. Of course, my team, Sik-Jitsu, best in the world, like I said, and all my coaches and teammates, all there for me. I'm there for them too.
Right on. Ashton, it's such an honor to have you on my show, man. I hope that your leg heals up, and looking forward to seeing that pro debut in October, man. Really, truly an honor to have you on. Thank you for taking the time, man. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, you have a good one.
What's going on? Thank you so much for watching the show. I really appreciate it. Hey, I just wanted to do a quick introduction. If you've not seen my show or you don't know the services that I offer, I wanted to drop them to you right now. One, I do voiceover work. So if you're looking for a voiceover person to cover your motivational videos, or maybe it's Kickstarter videos or whatever it is, let me know. I'm more than happy to help you out there. I also work with brands on brand and product videos. So they'll send me their products to do reviews or box openings. Let me know. I'd love to work with you on your product as well and help you get that product out there. I also love to be able to share my story. So if I can make an impact on one person at your next speaking engagement, let me know. I love to talk about my story. I love to talk about how our past does not define our future, and morning routines and being consistent, how to be around those successful people that are just going to lift you up. Let's chat about having me speak at your next event. Let's make it happen. Again, thank you so much for checking out this show. Check out ericgallenmedia.com. Really appreciate your time. Have an awesome day.